বন্ধুরা আজকের topic of discussions is one of a very important chapter. The chapter is being very renowned and we are expect to start our statistics journey. The journey of statistics using this particular chapter. This chapter is so very important for various reasons, right? The name of the chapter is called Central Tendency. And the section today we will discuss, this is what is called mean. In simple, if you ask me what is mean, mean is just the process of doing average. Average is one of our oldest learning segments that we have done in our class early also, maybe in the 6, 7, 8, 9 standard. Possibly we all know what is average. In average, we have given multiple observations. Here also we have given 12 different observations. Maybe suppose you have given a question that there are 12 students. Their marks obtained in an examinations 11, 19, 7 and blah blah blah. What is the average of their marks? So question comes, how you calculate average? We all know how to calculate average. It is not a new things to do, but let me tell you for your one time more understanding. To do the average, you just need to add all the observations, means summation of all the observations. This is what is called summations. Summation of all the observations divided by number of element. N represent the number of element. Number of element means how many numbers are there? There are 12 numbers. So you first have to add all the numbers and then divide it by 12. So the answer will be very simple. If you add all the numbers here, it is given. If you add by yourself, it will come 177. And since there are 12 number, you have to divide it by 12. The final answer it will be 14.75. So their average or mean is 14.75 marks. I hope you guys understand the basic of the chapter, the basic and the fundamental of this particular chapter. Next questions will be slightly modified. Okay. But I hope you guys understand the basic one, right? Precisely a slightly modified one. Slightly. Look at the questions. Here it is clearly mentioned. One thing. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 observation is given with a fill in the blank. That means there will be 7 different observations. Okay. Their mean is given 12. The question is, what is the missing observations? Now look at here. The last question, we have to calculate the mean. But this question, if you're looking, we have already given the mean value, which is 12. Now the question is, what is the 7th observations, right? How we can calculate? Very simple. Students, remember that if there is a missing observation, remember that you have to put the value, instead of the missing, you have to put the value x. And now just precisely construct the same formula that I have been given in the last question, summation of all observations. Whereas I can write this like 5 plus 13 plus 9 plus 17 plus 14 plus 10 plus x divided by the number of observations. How many observations are there? We already know that there are 7 different observations. And equal to, instead of that, we have to write the value what is given here. My dear student, it is given 12. Now there's a linear equations. We all know how to calculate the linear equation. The linear equation, you have to calculate the value of x and finally you will get the value of x will be 16. Simple formula, simple technique. Don't take any extra load on the question. Simple technique. Hope you guys understand. Student, this question is phenomenally important. It's a very important question and we would occur to found this question several times in the examination. Students, get ready for this kind of question. Numerically, you need to be very correct. Unless your calculation mistake, there shouldn't be any kind of mistakes should be taken. Okay. Now look at this question very clearly. What is given? The mean marks of 30 students is 58.5, right, in an examination. One student mark was wrongly copied 57 instead of 75. Means the actual mark should be 75, but it was copied 57 wrongly. Find the correct mean. Students, find the correct mean. Means this is 58.5, the mean, the value was given, it was wrong because you wrongly copied a number. So how to do this question? There are few steps. Let me clarify you. Steps number one. Just always go by this question following the step. First, you have to calculate the total marks. Total marks. How do you calculate? You know the mean marks, which is wrong but given. And you know the number of observation, which is 30. You have to multiply this. Means 57.5, 58.5, sorry, 58.5 into 30. There you get the total marks, right? 58.5 is the mean given. There are 30 students already given. So you have to calculate the step number one, that what is the total number of the student, total marks of the student has been obtained by. If you multiply, it will comes 1755. Simple multiplications. Okay. Step number two. We all know that this multiplication, the answer we got, it's not a correct answer because you got a mistake. So you have to calculate the correct summations. This summation is wrong. This total is wrong because you got an early mistake. What was your mistake? Instead of 75, you write 57. So out of this total, you have to eliminate that the mistake you did, which is 57, and you have to add that what should be the correct value, which is 75. My student, please focus there. This is a very important point. Means out of the total, which is 1755, out of this total value, we first deduct 57, since because it was a mistake, it was an error, and I'm going to add 75 because that should be the right value. And once we got the actual total, which is 1773, this is the actual total. We got it 1773. Then we have to divide this by the number of students. Step number 3. Finally, which is 1773 divided by the observation. Since because there are 30 students, we have to divide it by 30. So the actual value you will get, it is 59.1. Please do it by yourself. This is a very simple technique. I strongly believe you all understand this question. Now we will go into a little difficult, but not so difficult. Please precisely focus to the next question of ours. Students, again, this particular questions will going to open another window of experiment regarding this particular chapter. It will help you to precisely clear your doubt much bigger way. Let me tell you this particular topic here. I'm going to discuss about the combined mean. Combined mean. What is combined mean? What is combined mean? First, need to clear the concept. Remember one thing, your concept is everything, nothing else. I'll just give you one simple example you better understand. Suppose we have two different blend of tea, Assam and Darjeeling. Both the tea are having a different price. Assam tea are having a different price. Darjeeling tea are having a different price. But once we mix these two particular blends, it will convert the price in a combined value. This is called combined mean. Remember that. This is called combined mean. Then I will not going to ask my buyer to charge different price for Assam and different price for Darjeeling tea. No. Then we have to charge a particular value which is called combined value. Right? Again here, this is a question here we have given. Boys and girls, their average value in the class is given 71 and 73. Average score, not value, score. Boys score 71 marks in average, not individually, in average. Similarly, girls score 73 marks in average. Okay, progressing India. Girls are doing better. Very good. And also one thing is given, their combined score is 71.8. Right? Once you mix their score, you will get 71.8. The question gently asks, what is the ratio between the number of students between boys and girls? It's a very common question. They have been asked in several exams. You need to understand the topic. You need to understand the process. एक बार process समझ में आ गया. This is the simplest way we can do it. Let me clarify. The one formula for combined mean. Let me give you. Combined mean is equal to. Let me consider the there are two different value of number. So I'll count it. Boys is N1 and girls are N2, right? So N1 is the number of boys into their average marks. So let me consider X plus N2 is the number of girls into their average marks. Let me consider Y divided by the total number additions of number of boys plus number of girls means N1 plus N2. Look at here very clearly. Okay, precisely देखो. So N1 is the number of boys. I don't know, here in the question doesn't give you the value. So let me write N1 into X. Their average marks is given, which is 71, plus I even don't know what is the number of girls. Let me doubt. It is N2 into their average marks is given 73. Again, divided by N1 plus N2, because I don't know what is the number of boys and girls, equal to one thing they have been instructed you, the combined value. Look at the question, they have been given you the combined value is 71.8. Instead of combined mean, I'm going to write the value 71.8. Now this question looks very familiar. By solving this linear equation, you just have to calculate one thing, the ratio between N1 is to N2. Very clearly, I hope you can do this now. Because if you cross multiply this value with N1 and N2, and then all N1 will be one sided and all N2 will be other sided, then just divide N1 by N2 and you'll get the ratio between N1 is to N2. And quickly you guys solve me and tell me right in the comment box what will be the answer for this question. I will be deeply waiting for your answers. I'll be happy if you do it correctly. Okay. Now I'll jump into the next question. I hope you guys understand this question very, very clearly and precisely. And here, student, now we are absolutely the utmost questions, the most expected question for the examinations. I will teach you this particular question in the most simplest way. We called it step deviation method, by where we can calculate the mean. Once you have two things has been given. Number one, the class limit, the class boundary, as well as the data of their repetition means frequency. Suppose there is a class where I'm going to divide the data step by step. Okay. And we have to calculate the mean. Okay. How to calculate? Say, look at here. Here I'm going to divide the data in 20 to 30. There is a class 20 to 30 range, 20 to 30. 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70 and 70 to 80. Please, थोड़ा सा focus करो. And all you have given the frequencies of marks, which is 10, 6, 8, 12, 5, 9. Right? The number of students occupied the marks in between. Right? How you can calculate their mean average marks? For this kind of cases, you have to follow a step deviation method, a simple formula, a simple technique, step by steps. First, once you have given the questions, open the additional three different column, mid value, D dash and FD dash. Open it first. Jaldi se open kar lo. First step is done. Second step, we have to calculate mid value and then D dash and finally FD dash. How? Let me tell you guys. First, mid value. Let me tell you how to calculate mid value. What is mid value? Say you all have given a particular class whose there is a lower boundary which is 20. There is an upper boundary which is 30. Mid value, if you ask me what is the formula of mid value, simple formula of mid value is UB plus LB divided by 2. Listen, write it down. UB means upper boundary, LB means lower boundary, divided by 2. It means 20 plus 30. 20 is the lower boundary, 30 is the upper boundary, or 30 plus 20, anything. Divided by 2, it comes 25. Then next, again 40 plus 30 divided by 2, it comes 35. And the rest will be 45, 55, 65 and 75. One common question students ask me, sir, how you calculate it so fast without calculator? There is a simple way, a simple trick, but I say, if you are looking all the classes, there is a common differences, which is 10, 10, 10, 10. And what I'm doing here also, I'm going to increase the value 25, 35, 45. All we are accumulating the value 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and finally it will ended by 75. Please focus. Technique, very important. Next steps. Next steps. We got a steps called D dash. So what is D dash? D represent deviation, right? But before D dash, I would like to tell everybody, before D dash, I would like to count and assume mean. What is assume mean? Let me tell you, listen to me very carefully. Out of all the mid values, out of all the mid values, any individual, one mid value has to be assumed as I assume mean. Let me take 45 is my assume mean. I marked it. So I'm going to write here. Here I'm going to assume mean is 45. You guys also can copy that. Assume mean is there. It is coming 45 for me. I'm going to write assume mean is 45. And then sir, what next? How do you calculate D dash? Very simple, boys. Very simple, students. Here instead of 45, you are going to write 0 symbolically. 0. Nothing else. What you assume, the assume mean, just write 0 across it, right? And then what? Once you follow upward, you have to write -1, -2. There are students who ask me, will it be always -1, -2? Yes. Don't use any other calculation there. It will be always -1, -2 if there is a common difference which is remain same. Here the common difference remains same, 10, 10, 10, 10. So it will be obviously -1, -2 to the upward, and to the downward it will be +1, +2, and +3. Now, if you have given very few more numbers, it will be further increase. Maybe it could be +4, +5. Even it could be -3, -4. But here for this particular question, we have 0, assume mean, which is 0, and then -1, -2, then +1, +2, and +3. So this is the D dash, right? Final step. This is called FD dash. Question comes, sir, what is FD dash? If you abbreviate the term, it will be the multiplication between F and D dash. F represents frequency, D dash just we calculated. F is frequency. Here it is given. Look at here. 10, 6, 8, 12, 5, 9. These are all frequencies, my students. And if you multiply with the -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3, you will get the value of FD dash. So just multiply that. 10 into -2, this is -20. Then -6. Obviously, 8 into 0 is equal to 0. 12 into 1, that is be 12. 5 into 2, that will be 10. And then 9 into 3, that will be 27. This is what is called FD dash. I calculate the value FD dash. After calculating D dash, the next step it was FD dash. We just do the calculation, and finally one last task. What is that? You have to add the summation of FD dash. My dear student, simple addition. Simple additions. How? All the plus will be added separately and all the minus will be added separately. And then finally you have to adjust and get the value. If you do the calculation, here you will get the answer. For summation FD dash, it is 23. I repeat again, all the plus will be added separately. All the minus value will be added separately. And then finally we have to adjust. Then it is coming 23. Okay. That's all. You might have a question, say, is this the answer? No, this is not the answer. But the main calculation is done now. Just one single formula and just answer will be there. What is the formula? Let me write the formula. The formula of mean under the step deviation method is being very simple. It's equal to A. A means assume mean plus summation FD dash. That's what we calculated here, which is 23. Divided by summation of F into I. I means the class interval. A for assume mean. FD dash we calculated. Summation F we have to calculate. And I already given. Please copy the formula. This is the basic formula, one formula. All the calculation will be so easy if you follow this particular formula. You need not to use any calculator, nothing. Please do it. Here assume mean already we know 45, we know. Summation FD dash we already calculated, here it is coming 23. Summation of F, if you add all the frequency, you will get the summation of F, which is 50 here. So here I'm going to write 50 into I. I means the class interval. Look at the class. Every class there is a common difference, which is 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. If any question it is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, then it will be 5. Here it is 10. Depending upon the question to question. Here I'm going to write 10. Now please do the whole calculation. Simple calculation. You will get the answer, the result. If you do the calculation, it will be 45 plus 4.6. Means finally the calculation is 49.6. So the exact mean value of the total class, it is 49.6. These are the steps we need to follow to get the exact value of the mean. I believe you guys completely understand how easily and quickly we can solve it. I hope you can easily understand. Next question is about missing frequency. Highlight your mind, my boys and girls. This question is the most expecting question for 2024 exam. Missing frequency. Missing frequency. What is this? Sometime we figure out by the calculation of mean, out of all the frequency, one frequency is missing there. Every detail is given. Every detail is given. Just one frequency is missing there. There is a question mark written. We have to evaluate the value of the missing frequency. All the details are there. Look at this question here. All the classes given. Even all the frequencies given. Except one frequency is given, not given, which is written as x. Okay. You have been asked to calculate the value of x. Okay. One additional information will also provided here. This is the mean is already given. Suppose you have given the mean is 49.6. As we already calculated in the last question, we know that the answer will be 49.6. And we have to calculate the value of x, means the frequency which is not given. And students sometimes being bit confused. Sir, how to solve this kind of questions? I request you, please don't have any exaggerations of your mind. It's a simple technique, boys and girls. Simple technique. Okay? Just follow the same steps what I've been requested to follow in the last questions. You have to calculate the mid value, D dash and FD dash, following in the same step as well as the last question, my student. Then what? Here, instead of mid value, we already calculate 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, fine. And D dash is also, because we assume that 45 is the assumed mean. So D dash is 0, minus 1, minus 2, plus 1, plus 2 and 3. And again, if you multiply with F into D dash, it will be 10 into minus 2, minus 20. 6 into minus 1, minus 6. X into 0. Remember that x into 0, obviously 0. 12 into 1, that is 12. 5 into 2 is 10. 9 into 3 means the total of summation of F, it will remain same. 50, 23. Summation of FD dash, right? But one thing will slightly change, modified, that the summation of F will be changed because you don't know the value of X. So it will be, it was initially 50, now it will be 42 plus X. Because already we know the value of X is 8. Because we did the last questions. We already know the value of the frequency is 8. We have to calculate the value. Right? Now here we have to calculate the value. If it was 50 early, then it will be 42 plus X. Obviously, if you add all the rest of the value and then plus X. So the summation of F, it will be slightly changed. It will be 42 plus X. Right? Now you have to solve. How? In the same formula. Look at here. I'm going to place the value in the same formula, just side by side. Mean is given 49.6, so I'm going to write 49.6 equal to A already same, that is 45, we know. So we already assume the mean is 45 plus summation FD dash, already we calculate 23 divided by summation of X, it was early 50, this time it will be 42 plus X into I means the class differences, which is 10, remains same. Now here I am going to form an equation, and this linear equation will help me to calculate the value of X precisely. Look at here how I am doing it. Now I first take the slide of 45, it will be 23 divided by 23 into 10, by the way, 23 into 10 divided by 42 plus x is equal to 49.6, and if you change the slide, it will be 49.6 minus 45, that means 4.6, right? Now then do the cross multiplication with 42 plus x into this, and just easily calculate and solve the value by the linear. You'll get the value of x is equal to 8. This is the same question, but it's a reverse calculations. Here you have given the mean, but you have to calculate the frequency, which is not given there in the question, missing. So these are the different types of question we expect for the examinations of 2024. I strongly believe if you follow this type of question and also follow all the exercise and the last 10 years expected questions coming to the examinations, you definitely good scoring this particular chapter. No one will help you to score this chapter. I'm pretty sure about it. So my student, if you really like the way I teach you, I